Welcome back to the 14-day Yin Reset. This is day number 6, and we have a full body sequence today. We're going to use just a strap today. This is all you need, a belt or anything that is 5 feet at least. 6 feet is better, I think. We'll start out on the back with your strap nearby, within reach. So begin with the knees drawn in toward your chest and hugging the knees in. You can clasp your hands around your knees or even wrap tighter if it feels good to hold opposite elbows. Rocking side to side, starting to say hello to your body, say hello to your spine. And now, clasping the hands just around the right knee, extend the left leg forward onto the mat. So your left leg is just resting on the mat. Hug the right knee in towards your chest for the cradle pose. And breathe into your belly. As you feel this nice length in the back of the body, feeling it come up into the back of the neck a bit as you bring your chin down towards your chest just slightly. And with your exhale now, lift your head up toward your knee, getting even more length in the back of the neck. And reach with your right hand to hold the bottom of your right foot, holding the inside or the outside of the foot. If this clasp doesn't happen easily for you, then your strap can be your friend here. You could just wrap your strap around your foot and hold the strap. Might feel good to extend the leg a little bit more, play around with the degree of bend in the knee. And now taking your strap around your foot to stretch into the hamstrings. And this is like a upside down half butterfly pose. So we're doing 1 minute each for these segments here. Your strap can be right in the arch of the foot, or it could be a little more up toward the ball of the foot. Breathing into this stretch. I like to leave a little bit of bend in the elbows here, which sort of helps the stretch somehow. Breathe. Again, lengthening the back of the neck near the ground. And now open the leg out to the side for this kind of upside down half dragonfly, we could call it, stretching into the right groins. Some people, myself included, like to sort of mess around with this other leg to get the stretch better. So I like to bend my knee and open the knee out to the side. You can see what works for you. Breathe. And releasing, bring this leg back up to center. Release it down to meet the other leg. Put your strap aside. Interlace your fingers. Stretch the arms up over your head. Press down long through your legs and feet. And now bend the knees. Bend just the left knee in towards your chest. Cradle pose, hugging it in. Breathing into the belly, into the low back, lengthening the back of the neck near the ground. Inhaling right into the belly. And as you exhale, lift your head up toward your knee, finding your half happy baby pose, one-legged happy baby pose, whatever you want to call it. One of my teachers from years ago, Peggy Oro, always called a half a happy baby. Come into half a happy baby. Breathing into this, noticing where you feel it, playing around with how much the knee is or is not bent, if that feels good. And here's where we bring the strap in, taking it around the foot and extending the leg straight up. And when I say straight up, I don't mean it has to be vertical. For some people, the angle will be more like forward, and for you, it might be farther. Your leg might be closer to the ground or toward your head. It's really just all different ranges of motion here. And we're going for the stretch of the hamstrings, whatever angle that is for you. Breathing into the belly. And now opening it out, getting into the left inner groins, left adductors, as we call them, with the option to bend the right knee, open the right knee out to the side, or find a different angle to enhance your stretch. Inhaling into whatever your body is doing, whatever shape you've ended up in. And exhale, softening into this shape. Let yourself be here. And releasing the leg back up to the center. Put your strap aside. Rest on the back for 1 minute, taking a rebound. Spreading out as much as you'd like as you take up space to feel this sensation. On the physiological level, it is said that the water that's in our fascia during this time of rebound, of heightened inside sensation, we could call it, that this water has changed from its normal gelatin form, more solid form, into a more liquid form. It's become more viscous. Inhaling deep. And exhale, bend your knees, draw them in. Gently rock side to side, feel your low back. We're going to make our way to hands and knees and rocking forward and back a few times. We're going to end up in hands and knees, crossing the ankles, and then right into puppy pose. So from the hands and knees position, we will take the hands forward and settle the heart down. You might be a hovering puppy, meaning your forehead doesn't touch the ground. If you like the feeling of keeping the head lifted and that gives you an extra back bend sensation that you like, then stay there. Or you might rest your head down, or you might rest your chest down if that is within the range of motion of your shoulders. And in that case, your nose, forehead, or chin might be on the ground. In whichever variation, we're stretching the armpits, the chest, the upper spine. Opening the front of the ribs. And with this open chest position, let's take an inhale into the lungs, filling them up. And as you exhale, see if your spine can soften down right toward the heart a little bit more, your middle spine. Softening the shoulder blades into the body. Option now to take just a slight variation of the arms, bend the elbows, palms together behind the head, or hands rest on the upper back. And slowly releasing puppy pose, coming into child's pose. 1 minute here in child. Breathing into the shoulders, upper back, neck. And slowly coming up. We're not going to go too far, just into tadpole or frog. So opening the knees with the idea of stretching into the inner thighs. And you can inch your elbows forward or keep them back, depending on where is a good angle for you to feel the inner thighs stretching. If you're on a hard floor and your knees are sliding off your mat, then that's not usually comfortable. And if you're not feeling that you love that, then turn sideways on your mat. Then you can go as wide as you'd like. Breathing here. If you're someone who has a bolster or big cushions around, some people like to rest their chest and ribs on a cushion. Wherever you are, breathing into what you feel. Breathing into the inner thighs. And when you exhale, you can soften your inner thighs. Releasing all the way onto your belly now. Rest on your belly with your hands stacked and your forehead on top of your hands, sometimes called a crocodile pose, and just rest and breathe here. Feeling the sensations in the legs. And releasing, coming up to hands and knees. Now we're going to slide the left knee forward, coming into up swan and then swan. So 1.5 minutes in each of these. Up swan is lifting up. This is like a variation of dragon. So we've done plenty of dragons so far in this series. Here we have just a different thing going on with the front leg, but same circuit being stretched here, the front of the thigh, front of the hip, and up through the abdominals. And whether or not you're resting your left hip down or having it more lifted is up to you. Your hands supporting you. I like to come up on fingertips. My arms are on the short side. Some people's hands will be farther forward. Breathe. Feeling the back bend in the sacrum, lumbar spine. Now, as we release and shift forward to Sleeping Swan, the target area changes completely to the left glute. As you come down, you can use this foot here as your lever, intensify the pose or de-intensify the pose. You can balance your hips so they're more square, or you can stay rested over onto the left hip, maybe even bending the back knee. Playing around with your angles. The torso can be on the elbows. You can be resting on the elbows, or rest your forehead on the floor or on your hands. So fine-tuning your pose, your knee might like to be more toward the chest or more out toward the left armpit. Everyone's anatomy is different, and that's why we have all these choices, so you can feel what gives you the best stretch in your left glutes. Settling in, breathing. And releasing, coming up to change sides. We're going to do this sort of a cowgirl move. Bring the back leg around and send the left leg back, or any way that you want to switch it up. Coming into our up swan pose to begin. Once again, maybe you're leaned all the way over onto your right hip, or maybe you're more suspended and squared. Hands are maybe in front of you, or maybe more like under your shoulders. Blocks under the hands are also an interesting option here. And be sure not to impose any symmetry on your hips. If you drop the right hip and your hips aren't level, that's okay. Just feel the stretch in the front of the left thigh, front of the left hip, and let yourself be diagonal. See what you can explore here. See what there is to discover in this body. Lengthening the front of the left side of the hips, left quads, left lower belly, upper belly as well. Breathing into this whole circuit. This corresponds with the stomach and spleen meridian. And let's bring it on down to the elbows or the forehead. And again, adjusting so that you feel the stretch in your right glutes here. Knee can be in or farther out. Right foot could be farther up toward the armpit or down toward the hip. And slowly releasing. Sit over on the right hip, cowgirl the leg forward, come onto your back. Rest for 1 minute on your back. Feeling the effects of that back bend and glute stretch. Noticing the energy, the sensations moving through your body. And noticing your breath. Bend the knees, hug them into the chest, and drop the knees over to the right for spinal twist. Adjusting so your right hip is nestled under you at about the middle of the mat, and then nestle your shoulders. I like to do this thing where I press the elbows into the earth and kind of get my ribs, back of my ribs on the ground. And then you can anchor the legs down with your right leg, spread the left arm out to the left side. Breathe deep into the belly and the ribs. And exhale and soften. And another deep breath, belly, ribs, and the spine. And as you exhale, feel your spine softening into this twist. Slowly bring the legs back up to the center and slowly shift to the second side. Knees to the left, getting that left hip under you, right hip on top. Right arm reaches out to the right side. And again, you could make this little adjustment with the back of the ribs, pressing the elbows into the ground. Nestling into the support of the ground, lengthening the back of your neck, stretching open the right side of the chest and breathing into the chest, the ribs, the belly. Exhaling, softening, and feeling the spine release into the twist. let's bring it back up to center, slowly, slowly releasing, and let's bring it into final relaxation, spreading out on the ground. If you want to do the wall instead, legs up the wall, go for it. 2 minutes to soften, to absorb all of the wonderfulness that has happened during this practice, all of the ways that the body has been juiced up, loved up, awakened, and all of the ways that space has been made inside. Into this space, take a deep breath and breathe out, letting go. And take a deeper breath into your body, filling the belly, the heart, and the back. Exhaling, spread out your fingers and toes, wiggle your fingers and reach them up over the head. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up and away. Stretch down long through the legs. Inhale, yawning. As you exhale, bending your knees, roll to the side and slowly make your way up. Closing the eyes, sitting with the spine tall, anchoring your sitting bones, cushion under the seat if you'd like. And we'll take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Feeling your body. Inhale, exhale. Feeling the energy in your spine. Inhale, exhale. Feeling the energy in your heart. And that's today's practice. Thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you next time.